All right, so we are back and ready to dive in.
Let's do it.
To another one of these deep dives, and
Looking forward to it.
yeah, this should be a really interesting one today.
Definitely.
We're going to be looking at an upcoming interleague matchup
Okay.
between the New York Yankees and the Pittsburgh Pirates.
The storied franchises.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Bronx Bombers going up against the Bucks.
Yeah, and we've done a lot of homework on this one. Gone back into the archives and really trying to pull out some of the most interesting storylines.
Yeah, we're going deep today.
Yeah.
So I mean, right off the bat, when you think about these two teams, you think about just the history of the franchises.
You can't escape it.
Yeah, and the Pirates were such a huge part of early baseball.
Oh yeah, they were a force back in the early 1900s. Setting a high bar for the game when it was really just getting going.
Yeah, and then the Yankees come along, and especially post Babe Ruth. I mean,
talk about a dynasty. Yeah, they just rack up championships like it's nothing, and it's really a legacy that you just don't see very often in pro sports.
No, you don't. And
yeah.
I think when these two teams meet up, I think for a lot of fans, especially Yankee fans, that 1960 World Series.
Oh yeah.
Has to come to mind.
Bill Mazeroski.
Oh yeah.
Game 7.
Game 7 walk-off home run.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the stuff of legends.
It is. And, I think, when you think about that moment, how many times has a single play had such a lasting impact on a fan base's psyche?
Not many. I mean, talk about a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
For Yankee fans especially.
Oh, I'm sure that gets replayed over and over again in their minds.
Oh, I'm sure. And it just shows you how unpredictable baseball can be. I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
No, you don't.
And that series is a perfect example of that.
It really is.
You can have all the expectations in the world.
Right.
But in the end, it comes down to those individual moments.
Absolutely.
And anything can happen.
Now, it is interesting, though, because if you fast forward from 1960 to, more recent interleague play.
Right.
The Yankees have actually had the Pirates' number.
They've had their number.
They swept them in 2021 and 2022.
Yeah, I remember those series.
I think the Yankees really exploited the Pirates' struggles against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, that was a weakness for them back then.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if the Pirates have, addressed that in their current roster.
That's going to be a key thing to watch for sure.
Yeah. But, it's kind of interesting to see how this narrative has flipped.
It has. It's like the student has become the master.
Yeah.
Or in this case, the underdog has become the top dog.
Right. Now they're going head-to-head again.
And, you have that historical context that just adds another layer of intrigue to the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not just about who wins and loses. It's about the legacy.
Yeah.
It's about the history between these two teams.
Absolutely. All right, so let's talk about these two teams as they stand in 2024.
Okay, let's do it.
The Yankees, on paper, are just scary good.
Oh, they're loaded.
I mean, you've got Judge, you've got Soto.
And now talk about a dynamic duo.
Oh, yeah, and then you've got Cole leading the pitching staff.
Yeah, Cole is a Cy Young contender year in and year out.
Yeah. I mean, you think about Soto, he gets on base like it's nothing.
He's an OBP machine.
Yeah, and then Judge is just, waiting to launch one.
Yeah, he can change the game with one swing.
Absolutely.
I mean, opposing pitchers are always going to be careful with
Well, yeah, one mistake and it's gone.
One mistake and it's out of here.
Now, the Pirates, they may not have the same star power as the Yankees.
Right.
But they've got some really exciting young talent.
Oh, they do. They've got some guys who can really make a difference.
You look at a guy like Oneil Cruz.
Yeah, Cruz is a beast.
He's got so much power.
And that arm.
I mean, he could throw the ball over 100 miles an hour across the diamond.
It's insane.
And then you've got Paul Skenes.
Yeah, Skenes is a top prospect. A lot of people are really high on him.
And he's got the stuff to back it up.
Oh, yeah, he's got a bright future ahead of him.
So, they may not be the Yankees, but they're definitely a team to watch.
Yeah, they're definitely a team that can surprise some people.
Absolutely. Now, there's one really interesting storyline here, and that's Gerrit Cole.
Oh, yeah.
Pitching against his former team.
That's going to be a good one.
He spent, 5 years in Pittsburgh?
5 years, yeah, from 2013 to 2017.
And now he's, the ace of the Yankees.
Talk about a revenge game.
Oh, this is going to be fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure Cole is going to be fired up for this one.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get into some specific players that we should be looking at.
Okay, sounds good.
When the Yankees, obviously, we've talked about Soto and Judge.
Right.
Soto's plate discipline is just unreal.
Yeah, he's so patient at the plate.
And that just drives pitchers crazy.
Oh, yeah. They hate facing him because he makes them work for every outlet.
Yeah, and then Judge is just, waiting for that one pitch.
And when he gets it.
And when he gets it, watch out.
It's gone.
Yeah. On the pitching side for the Yankees, Clay Holmes, that sinker of his is nasty.
Oh, yeah, that sinker is a weapon.
Especially against righties.
Especially against righties.
Yeah, he's a ground ball machine.
A ground ball machine.
Yeah, so, keep an eye on him.
Definitely.
Now for the Pirates, we've got to start with Oneil Cruz.
Cruz is just a freak athlete.
I mean, the power, the arm strength.
And he plays shortstop.
I mean, it's just not fair.
It's not fair.
And then you've got Brian Reynolds.
Yeah, Reynolds is a clutch hitter.
Yeah, he seems to always come through in big moments.
Always seems to get that big hit.
Yeah, and they've also got their own flamethrowers, Jones.
Oh, yeah. Jones can bring the heat.
100 miles an hour, easy.
Easy.
It's electric.
It's electric.
And then, of course, you've got Aroldis Chapman.
Oh, yeah. Cuban Missile.
Going up against his former team.
Always adds a little extra spice to the game.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how a player performs against their old team.
Especially a closer.
Especially a closer.
Yeah, the pressure is on in those late innings.
Absolutely. All right, so we've talked about the history. We've talked about the current teams.
Right.
Let's do some predictions.
Okay, I like it.
Now, obviously, these are just hypotheticals.
Right.
But let's say this is a 6-game series.
Okay.
What's your gut feeling on how it plays out?
6-game series.
Yeah.
The Yankees are just so deep. I mean, they've got a strong lineup, a strong rotation.
Yeah.
And Cole is going to be looking for revenge against his old team.
Right.
So I'm going to say Yankees in 6.
Okay. So you're feeling pretty confident about the Yankees.
I am. I think they're the better team on paper.
Now, what about a bolder prediction?
A bolder prediction.
Yeah, what could happen that would really surprise people?
Well, the Pirates' pitching is young, but it's talented. And if they can really step up, and if Oneil Cruz gets hot, I could see the Pirates pulling off the upset.
Okay, so you're saying Pirates win the series.
Yeah, I'm saying Pirates win the series.
And maybe even a walk-off hit from Cruz.
A walk-off from Cruz in the bottom of the 9th to clinch the series.
That would be amazing.
Oh, it would be electric.
Pittsburgh would go wild.
They would go wild.
I love it.
I love it.
So we've got our predictions.
We do.
Let's talk about some specific matchups or scenarios that we should be watching for.
Okay, let's do it.
First of all, Judge versus Skenes.
Oh, yeah, that's power versus power.
That's must-see TV right there.
It is. It's going to be a battle of the Titans.
Absolutely. And then you've got Soto's plate discipline going up against those young Pirates pitchers.
Yeah. Can they stay patient? Can they avoid giving him free passes?
Because if they start walking him,
it's going to be a long day for them.
Yeah. And on the defensive side, we've got to watch Oneil Cruz at shortstop.
Oh, yeah. Cruz is a human highlight reel.
I mean, the arm, that range.
He can make plays that nobody else can make.
Yeah. So, even if the Pirates aren't winning, it's still going to be fun to watch.
He's always entertaining.
All right. So we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
We've gone from the 1960 World Series to the current rosters.
To the key players.
To the potential game-changing moments.
To our predictions.
So now we turn it over to you, our listener.
That's great.
You've heard all the analysis. You've seen the matchups.
You know the history.
Who do you think wins this hypothetical 6-game series?
The Yankees? With their star power and their experience?
Or the Pirates with their young talent and their hunger to prove themselves?
It's a tough call.
It is a tough call.
But that's what makes baseball so great.
It really is. And I think what's really fascinating about these interleague matchups is that you get these unique storylines.
Yeah.
You get these clashes of styles.
And it's not something you see every day.
You don't. And it just adds another layer of excitement to the game.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.